For someone that wants to get into entrepreneurship, start their own business, how will they fail? But why do you guys keep coming here? Do you have advice for aspiring entrepreneurs? How do you invest your money? Would you be willing to share the most amount of money you've made in 1 month? How much you guys just spent at Nobu?
It was like 5 couples and our bill was like $3,200. $3,200. What?
So we're here at Nobu in Newport Beach. You've probably heard of it. Lots of celebrities, wealthy people, business owners, they love dining here. Now I always wondered, what do people do for a living that can afford dropping hundreds or thousands of dollars per meal? So today we're gonna find out. We're gonna ask people what they do, how much they make, their advice, and other juicy questions. Let's go. So crazy enough, we saw my friend Blake pull up to the Nobu Valet in his $500,000 Rolls-Royce Cullinan. So of course we had to talk to him. So what's your name, age, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Blake Rocha. I'm 26 years old and I do Airbnb investing for a living.
How did you get into that?
Started a couple businesses that did pretty well, began investing in real estate, didn't love the returns, and then found Airbnbs, and the returns were amazing, and began building a pretty good sized portfolio.
How often do you come to Nobu?
Once a month.
What's your favorite thing to get here?
The black cod miso.
So for someone that's starting an Airbnb, how will they fail? Like what mistakes are they gonna make?
Trying to compete with everybody else, you need to make yourself stand out, be unique, do something, create a unique experience for your guests, and always have that in mind. If you look like everybody else, have the same pictures as everybody else, you're just gonna get blended in with everybody else. So number one thing, do professional photos. If you take iPhone photos, good luck, you're gonna be in the trash like mom and pop.
What was the first business you ever started?
First business I ever started was Roach's Lawn Care. You grow it, we mow it. That was in elementary school.
Wow.
Yeah. I used Microsoft Paint to make my business cards, I remember.
What personality trait do you have that makes you successful?
I think I was born with this, man. It's all I've ever thought about was being a business owner. I absolutely wake up every single day loving the challenges, and I think that there's always a new level to achieve, and as long as you don't get complacent and keep looking to that next level, I think that you'll be successful.
Would you be willing to share the most amount of money you've made in 1 month?
$1.7 million.
And what do you do with all the money you make? Because that's a lot.
Put it back into real estate. I think that month I did buy a car because all of a sudden taxes became an issue, so I bought a used Section 179 to offset my Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Honestly, I don't spend that much money. I live a pretty relatively frugal lifestyle. 1 or 2 watches, a nice car, and everything else goes back into real estate because the party ends one day and you want to fall back on having some passive income from your real estate and from your assets so that you can live a healthy life.
Can I ask how many Airbnbs do you have?
Currently, right now, I own 10, but they're all luxury. So it's last month, I think it was our biggest month that we ever had. I was just looking at the numbers. We did $302,021 in revenue across those 10 properties. So it was a really, really good month.
If you had to frame a quote, what would it be?
Treat the janitor like the boss. Unfortunately, one of my first mentors took his own life, and he was super, super wealthy back when I didn't have anything. And I just remembered how he treated people, and I asked him, to give me some advice, and he said, treat the janitor like the boss, and which is, just goes to show you, treat everybody equally and be kind to people, be generous, spread love, and you'll get a lot farther in life.
Can you tell us about a time that you failed in business?
Right before COVID started, I was dead broke. I used every single dollar that I had to build a clothing company. Everybody starts a clothing company.
Yeah, I did too.
Right? Everybody does. And I put every dollar I had into it. I lost about $14,000 or $15,000, which was my money that I had been taking out for loans for school and stuff. So that was ugly. The great thing about it was I learned a lot about partnerships. I learned a lot about running advertisements. I learned a lot about the manufacturing side of things. And I just learned that every loss is a lesson, right? As I look back on it, it's more about the skills that I learned and less about losing the $10,000, $15,000 in the grand scheme of being an entrepreneur.
What's something that you would tell a beginning entrepreneur?
Try everything because you don't know what you're going to love. You're not going to know what you're going to hate. I failed at e-com. I failed at creating clothes. I failed at online content creation originally, YouTube. I did sales jobs. I worked at a restaurant. You name it. I tried it. I failed. You got to do everything, right? And then eventually you stumble into something. You say, you know what? I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I learned all these skills and this is my passion. And once you find that thing, go all in. Do not let up. I found what I wanted to do and I went all in. It was the best decision I made. Unfortunately, for a second there, I was like not really eating. I wasn't really working out. I wasn't doing too much, but I was all in and focused for a couple years and it completely changed the trajectory of my life.
What gives you happiness in life?
I love giving back, whether it be, big tips, right? I worked as a server. A $1,000 tip, it may literally change somebody's day, their week, their month, right? So just giving back, it's an awesome feeling. And I really do love the game. At the end of the day, what makes me happy is not the money because at some point you get to the top of the mountain and there's nothing there. Right. But the game is what I love, winning, and always finding that next level and pushing myself.
Did you go to college?
I did, yes.
And what did you study?
International business.
Okay. Was it worth it?
Yeah, I would say it's worth it, not for the degree, but for the relationships. I met my best friends there, and I don't regret it at all.
What is your take on taking risks?
It is without a doubt the best piece of advice. I retract my old advice. The best piece of advice that I can give you if you're young, especially in your early 20s, is to take risks because you know what it's like already to live, poor, to eat top ramen, to live on the couches and do that. A lot of people have the opportunity too to go back to their parents. You know, you can move back in. I lived at my parents' house, dead broke, taking as many risks as possible. I got laid off during COVID and then had to move back in. I ended up starting all of my businesses there. I had already owned, 25 properties and been making millions of dollars while I was still living there with my parents because I just wanted to keep taking more and more and more risks and not wasting time, wasting money, and wasting energy. So yeah, best piece of advice is definitely take risks if you're young because it gets harder when you're older and you're married and you have kids.
How will the next generation of wealth be made?
It looks like AI seems to be the future, man.
Any final advice for the audience?
Don't focus on becoming a millionaire. I think that it's really easy to get trapped online with everybody saying, oh, become a millionaire. It's the best thing in the world. You have to become a millionaire by the time you're 30. Focus on replacing your salary so that you can start buying your time back because at the end of the day, the most valuable currency is time. That's what I truly believe. So, the millions can come. Maybe they do never come, but know what makes you happy. Buy that time back. And I think that that's what success truly looks like.
Love it. Thank you so much. What's your name, age, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Alex. I'm a CEO of a NASDAQ company, and we're building electric boats, and I'm 48 years old.
How'd you get into that?
I used to be a boat racer, and I was actually racing gas boats, and along the years, I've been changing my minds, and I think going electric with boats makes some sense. And we had opened a boat rental operation, electric boat rental operation in Newport Beach 5 years ago, and we became actually very good customers of Nobu.
Do you have advice for aspiring entrepreneurs?
Don't listen to anyone. Don't listen to your friends, your family, and just focus on your dreams and hard work and you're gonna get it.
Can you tell us about a failure that you've had in business?
Now, actually, I had a bunch of failure, and actually for myself, these are not failures. These are actually good lessons in life. The worst one, I went to Dragon's Den, and they refused my company. And 2 years later, I was able to list it on the NASDAQ because I've pushed and I've learned from that.
Would you be willing to share the most you've ever made in 1 month?
No, I can't say that, no. But money that I make, actually, I'm reinvesting it. So if I buy a car, I'm going to be reselling that car for more money. So I don't really spend on money.
How do you invest your money?
Stock market a bit, a lot of real estate. Real estate is very good. And actually, I think real estate is the most safe thing you can do.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. By the time I was starting to get really hungry, but all these insane cars kept pulling up to the valet, and I had to know what they do for a living. So what are your names, your age, and what do you guys do for a living?
I'm Ron, I'm 61, and I have a theater business.
My name is Alyssa. I'm 56 and I am retired.
And what was your business, can I ask?
Software.
Do you guys have any advice for anyone that's in their 20s?
Study.
Yeah, work hard, work very hard.
Did you guys go to college?
Yes,
Yeah.
What did you guys study in college?
Business.
business.
Was it worth it?
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
What was the most important thing that you learned in college?
To stick through it, get it done, finish.
Yeah, to learn how to learn, basically, because you keep learning all the way through your life, so.
For someone that wants to get into entrepreneurship, start their own business, how will they fail? Like, what mistakes will they make?
The reason why I think I was successful is because I picked the right people. And I think that the opposite is true. You could fail if you choose the wrong people to come along with you.
So how do you find the right people then?
Probably look for things that are similar to you in your values in business, right? Perseverance.
What about you guys has allowed you to be really successful compared to other people?
I think you just have to keep at it, keep going and don't be afraid to fail, actually.
Working hard, weekends, holidays, while everybody is doing something fun, it just takes a little bit of sacrifice.
Would you guys be willing to share the most you've ever made in 1 month?
No.
I have an Airbnb. I'm making $4,000 this weekend.
And what final advice would you tell the people watching this video who want to become wealthy?
Invest everything you have, money-wise, time-wise, but be prepared to lose it all. And know that if you lose it all, that you're still okay, that you can start again.
That's scary. So like, how do you do that?
You just have to take the leap. And again, it's a calculated risk.
Especially if you have the right support.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, appreciate you guys. So what are your names, your age, and what do you guys do for a living?
I'm Fady Kasbar. I'm 32, and I run a Discord community revolving around stock trading, options, Amazon, business building, and more with my partner Dan.
So why do you guys go to Nobu?
Nobu is absolutely delicious. I'm vegan myself, and Nobu has probably some of the absolute best vegan dishes that you can find at a place of that caliber. So endless options for us, lots of truffle.
So how'd you guys get started in entrepreneurship?
I think it's all about how we were raised, the people we were around. We come from an area that was pretty tough growing up, and personally my parents wanted a lot for us. They pushed us towards schooling and having a stable job and a stable source of income, which was the original direction. But after becoming an adult, I knew I wanted a lot more, and I never wanted to kind of have to sacrifice and struggle the way that we did when we were growing up. So with entrepreneurship, the sky is the limit, and you could just never have that if you're not doing something for yourself.
So can you guys tell me about some of the businesses you guys have started?
One of the businesses that we first started was actually together, Alpha Sigs, back in 2011-12.
I think we were probably 20, 21 years old at the time, and we were just, we were going like vacuum salesmen. We were knocking on smoke shops and liquor stores and just trying to sell them this product, and nobody knew what it was. Eventually, within a few months, we were selling maybe 300, 400, 500 units a day on eBay. We were in about 43 different ARCOs here in SoCal. After we did that, we started trading together in the stock market. The stock market was the first place that I ever made $1 million in actual profit. I actually caught the GameStop trend in November. I took $15,000 to $1.3 million in 6 months with GameStop, and that was a wrap since then.
What's your most controversial advice?
Continue to invest in GameStop. What's going on with GameStop is not over, and it's going to have another move that's much bigger than the initial one that we had in January 2021. So
This is not financial advice, by the way.
definitely not.
Okay, so do you guys have any advice for new entrepreneurs? What would you tell someone that's starting out?
I think that you need to embrace change, and sometimes you have to take the leap of faith. The one thing I would say is that every major success I've ever had in my life has been a direct result of me taking a major leap of faith.
And then I'm also really curious because you guys have been business partners for a while. How do you have a successful partnership?
We have a fear and greed type of...
Right, we're polar opposites too, but I mean, real recognize real though.
Yeah.
So, you know, the fear and greed index, he's fear and I'm greed as far as trading goes. So it works out, it balances. He plays a lot more conservatively. I take much larger risks. So risk reward is different between the two of us, but it's just one of those things.
How do you guys surround yourself with other successful people?
Making sure you go out and network. I think that's very crucial, especially the place that we are at. We're in OC right now, Newport Beach. Just going out there and don't be shy. Talk to people like what you do and conversate with people. I think that's the best.
What are your guys' favorite books?
Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. That book has changed my life. If you could go out and find struggle in good ways, whether it's through business, whether it's through fitness, whatever the case is, finding that and embracing the struggle.
So to be able to afford eating at Nobu, how much money should you make?
Whatever you purchase, you should have that cash to purchase in the stock market too. If you're going out to Nobu and you're spending $500 on a dinner, you should automatically have $500 to spend investing into yourself or investing into the stock market.
Cool, well thank you guys so much. So what's your name, age, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Kenya. I'm from Vegas and I'm a bartender and I'm a momager.
So you have a kid that does
Movies.
What's their name?
McKenna Roberts. She's here right now because she's doing the Barbie premiere on Sunday.
How did this all happen?
She actually submitted her photo into like a photo contest on Facebook literally when she was 4 years old, and like 6 months later she got a contract with Ford Models and we've been doing it ever since.
And what's the most important lesson that you've taught your daughter?
To always be real. It's something about like being in Hollywood, like living in Vegas, that's where we're from.
Yeah.
She can be herself and do whatever she wants to do, and then when she comes here she's working and she gets to go back home and have a normal life. So I always tell her, just stay true to yourself. That's it.
Is there a lot of money in acting?
To begin with, I want to say no, and especially like being like from Vegas and having to commute, like we've put so much money in the beginning, but of course it's an investment like in yourself and in your child. But I think like what I know now as opposed to when I first started doing this in the industry with my daughter, I think that I could have like cut all of that in half. And the fact that everything is like self-taped now for the most part is really opening up doors for other people that want to get involved.
Do you have any advice for other moms that have kids that also want to get into the entertainment business?
I have to say that you have to put your kids first. Okay. Of course, I mean, most moms do, but a lot of them get wrapped up in the whole Hollywood thing. But definitely put your kids first, and you have to make sacrifices. I worked for a while, and then it became harder and harder, you know, based on her career. But, you know, if you want it, just keep your eye on the prize, I guess. And who knows what the prize is, because, you know, it's what they want to do. McKenna wants to be a producer. She started off doing this as modeling and acting, and she was like, oh, I want to produce and write my own stuff. So I love that she's doing that.
And how's your meal at Nobu?
It was good. I had wine. I had 2 glasses of wine.
Do you recommend it to the audience?
Yes, I do.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. So during this interview, we heard a loud slam. It turns out this bicyclist literally crashed into a parked Bentley. Oh no. Oh yeah, that's definitely not good. As always, we almost got kicked out by security, but we finessed it. But man, this was a tough day. We got rejected by a lot of people. But yeah, moving on to the next couple interviews. So what's your name, age, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Bryan. I'm 26 and I'm an actuary. So an actuary is basically someone that measures risk using statistics and economics, but mostly for insurance companies.
How did you get into that?
So I was a stats major in college. I went to UC Santa Barbara, and then I didn't really know what to do at the time. time, data science didn't really exist. So I looked into using stats in business, and my stats department recommended to me actuarial science. So they told me you take exams, you get a series of raises. With every exam I get like a couple grand extra in my salary raise. And then I got an internship, and that internship turned to full-time.
Would you be willing to share what your salary is?
Yeah, so I make around 124 base with 15% bonus.
What advice do you have for people that want to find a high-paying job?
Network, ask a lot of questions, reach out to people with the career that you want.
What's been the best purchase you've made in the last year?
Flying experiences. I like to travel a lot. Best purchase, maybe my travel credit card, because it gave me returns.
And how do you invest your money?
I do stocks, 401k, and then I also have a high yield savings account, Wealthfront.
Final piece of advice you want to give the audience?
Enjoy life. Enjoy life, be happy, and work hard. But I think money doesn't bring happiness, and just surround yourself with the people that you love.
Thank you so much. So what are your names, your age, and what do you guys do for a living?
My name's Ricky, 32 years old.
I'm April, and I'm 44.
We run a construction company.
How'd you guys get into that?
I got into real estate, and we sold our house. Opportunities showed up to invest in a company, so we bought into the company, and it's just been solid from there. Yeah.
What advice do you guys have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
Be consistent. Just put your head down. Go to work.
Wake up early. Grind.
How early do you wake up?
4 or 5 in the morning. Because all the important work, I would think it's from 4 to 9 a.m.
How much you guys just spend at Nobu?
So it's about 600 plus with before tax.
Is it worth it?
Our mentality is, you know what? We're not gonna try to cut or save money.
Yeah.
We just gotta make more.
Play hard.
Not even work hard, play hard. It's more like if I want to do this, I need to make more money. Plain and simple.
Would you be willing to share the most you've ever made in 1 month?
Sadly, it's only been like 56K.
So what are like the profit margins for a business like that?
It depends. If you're family, it's like 60%. If you're just a stranger, it's like 10. I'm just kidding. Profit margins are in like the 20 to 30%.
Okay.
Also depends on like the size of the job. If it's like a brand new home, then I'll be okay with like 5%.
Right.
5% on $1 million is 50K, you know, which is okay for me.
How do you build a good team?
We give back.
We're givers. For
Yes,
sure, we're givers.
Definitely givers.
I'm also a big follower of Alex Armozy. Shout out. But yeah, he says like, be a giver, give, and eventually it'll just come back to you.
What's been the best business decision you've ever made?
Making the decision to never work for another person again. Because I went to school to be a chemist. I went, got a job in chemistry, worked at a lab. Even at 10 years, I'd be making what I make already now. Why wait 10 years?
Any final advice you want to leave the audience?
Be different. You need to be different. Like, you need to wake up early. You need to grind. You need to not waste your time like partying. You're young, put it, and then when you're older, enjoy it.
All I got to do is wake up, do business, go to sleep. I don't need to do anything else. I don't need to party. I don't need to do whatever. Like, I just need to wake up every day, go do business, grind, and go to sleep.
Love that. One last thing. Number one tip for being in a successful marriage.
Communication, like freaking being on the same page of the goals that we want. We both want to be successful. Like, we need to both have the same goals and the same focus.
Thank you guys so much. All right, by now I was cold AF and the sun was going down, but I knew we had to talk to a few more people. What's your name and what do you do for a living?
Paige, a hairstylist, and I own a salon.
What's it called?
Joe Mayer.
How'd you guys start your business? Like, how'd you get into that?
We started as hairstylists at a different salon and then opened our own.
How do you guys market your business?
We kind of don't. We have an Instagram, but we don't really post.
So it's mostly word of mouth?
100%.
And how can people build up their skills to one day open up their own salon?
Just listen to your customers and try your best to help them and be there for them.
What advice would you have to aspiring entrepreneurs?
Find mentors that can help you get to where you want to be. Be passionate about what you do, because if you're not, then what are you doing?
Cool. Well, thank you so much. So what's your name, age, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Lida Benitez. I am 35. I know it's very hard to believe, but I'm a financial broker.
How'd you get into that?
I was a bartender. My husband was a pharmacy technician at the time, and we decided, well, why not get some financial licenses and see where it takes us? And 4 years later, we started making 6 figures a year.
Would you be willing to share how much you make?
Yeah, so on average, we make about $12,000 to $15,000 a month.
Can you share with us one of your most important financial tips?
Before you pay Uncle Sam, before you pay your mortgage, before you pay your auto insurance, your electric bill, put money aside for yourself first. People that are wealthy, they pay themselves before they pay anybody else.
How much you guys spend at Nobu?
For 2 people, usually runs about $600. I remember the first time I went to Nobu, it was like 5 couples and our bill was like $3,200. and we had no idea, and it was a pretty funny situation, but we still walked away hungry, I'm not gonna lie, and we got like the best stuff on the menu, and we ended up at McDonald's like 2 hours later ordering Big Macs.
So why do you guys keep coming here?
It's an experience more than anything else.
What's something that you wish you knew earlier?
Tough times don't last, tough people do. So if you can outlast your situation and kind of fight through it, I think you'll be way better off in life.
If you were to start from scratch right now, what's the #1 skill you would learn?
Networking. So who you know and your ability to go talk to people and make new friends and not be afraid to approach people that are more successful than you.
Any final advice you want to leave the audience?
Don't make permanent decisions off of temporary situations. What you're going through is a season. It's not a final destination. It's a pit stop. So be smart about it. Have people around you that you can learn from, that you can ask questions, that you can take from their experiences and help yourself get to the next level.
I love that.
You could do anything you set your mind to. So stay focused.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so there you have it. Asking Nobu diners what they do for a living. I've been to Nobu a handful of times. I've always wondered what people do to be able to afford such an expensive restaurant. But yeah, we got some really cool answers today. We talked to a lot of really cool people, and I hope you guys learned from their advice. If you guys want to get some free stocks, I'll put some links down below. We also have a bunch of free courses teaching you how to make money, so I'll put those links down below as well. And yeah, my whole goal is to help you guys become financially successful, and I think we can learn so much from other people. Thanks for watching this far. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe for more content just like this. I make a ton of videos about personal finance, investing, and entrepreneurship. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.